They are called bump stocks, legal devices you can attach to some rifles, making them fire rapidly. And it's what that shooter in Las Vegas used to murder 58 people a week ago today. Now, 2 Texas Republicans are talking about banning them. Could that really pass in Congress, though? It's a question we have for Matthew Wilson. He is a professor at SMU. Matthew, it's good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
The NRA is backing this. That's
Absolutely.
a pretty rare move.
It really is. I mean, whenever you see the NRA express openness to some additional restrictions on any type of firearm or firearms accessories, it's a pretty remarkable day.
What's the strategy for the NRA in doing this? I mean, they've been opposed to everything else in the past. Why back this?
Well, I think they see this as a relatively minor concession that they can make that allows them to appear reasonable. They don't want to be seen as simply having knee-jerk rejection of every conceivable gun measure. And so this is a minor concession, allow the regulation of this particular accessory that forestalls, I think they hope, any sort of broader move in terms of gun control.
It's a strategic move for them. Senator John Cornyn and Congressman Bill Flores, both Texans, support this. Do you think any others will come on board now that the NRA is for this ban?
I think so. In fact, I suspect this will be one of the rare opportunities for some bipartisanship in Washington. Democrats are going to overwhelmingly support this kind of regulation. Republicans, I think, will come on board, and we'll see some bipartisan action here.
Do you see any conservative backlash anywhere?
I think there will be some minor grumbling, a little bit of discontent, but my sense is that this is not a core issue for gun rights folks. This is not like anything remotely comparable to an assault weapons ban, for example, or those really kind of controversial issues. So there'll be grumbling, but I don't see this as a make or break issue even for the gun lobby.
Who grumbles? Is the Second Amendment people? Or
yeah, the Second Amendment purists. There will be a few people who think that the NRA has sold out here, that they are not being aggressive enough in defending gun rights, but where are those folks going to go? That is, if the NRA is not with you on the issue, it's really hard to stake out a position on a gun rights angle.
Many argue that more needs to be done. Is there any political appetite at all in Congress? Democrats don't have a hold, obviously. Any thinking that this could go a step further?
I think it's unlikely. I think certainly Republicans will move on the bump stock issue, and then they'll say, we're done with this. There's not an appetite in the country, public opinion polls reflect, there's not an appetite for a kind of broader gun control push. There may be a little bit of tinkering at the margins, but we're not going to see a kind of sustained assault on the Second Amendment.
Will this be at all a play in the primaries in March of 2018 here in this state?
I think it may be talked about some in Democratic primaries as potential Democratic legislators talk about different gun control ideas. In Texas Republican primaries, you're just not likely to see a lot of differentiation on gun issues. Texas Republicans are overwhelmingly supportive of Second Amendment rights, so I wouldn't look for a lot of differentiation on this.
Final moments here too, Matthew. Switching off to state politics, Democrats haven't found anyone to run for governor yet. What does that tell you about the party or about the strength of Abbott?
Well, it tells you some about both. Certainly Greg Abbott is a formidable candidate. He's raised an enormous amount of money. He has a huge war chest. He hasn't been especially controversial. He's had a very solid tenure thus far. So he's a formidable candidate. On the Democratic side, they haven't won anything in a long time.
Long time.
And I think this is reflective of that.
Gotcha. Matthew Wilson from SMU, thanks for being here. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.